7, and our worldwide frequencies www.rgk.co.ke.
And other than that, if you have someone uko naye Qatar, Dubai, or wherever in the Gulf, or ama mko Scandinavia, and you want them to get a taste of home, you want them to enjoy the wind down experience, you can just ask them to search for us in TuneIn or Radio Garden. Search for Radio Generation, and you will be able, so as your brother or sister in another country, to enjoy a taste of home. And search for Radio Generation, and then you'll be able to enjoy the wind down experience.
We are getting into our open mic hour right now, and during that hour we'll request you to send in voice notes. And I want to share the number now so that I don't start scrambling ukombele. Maybe you can share the number, Bash, and then guys can save it on their phones.
So the number is 011-692-8683. 011-692-8683.
If you have that number in your phone, if you hear something, say something. That's the rule. If you hear something, say something using that number. And not only can you send a voice note, you could also send a message right there using that number. But we want to hear from you. We don't want to be in an echo chamber here. We also want to hear what you have to say. Bashir, unasema Kenya ilipepeta hao watu wa Seychelles yake yote. Ilipepeta mara 5. 5 mpepetos.
5 bora.
Hiyo tutaongelea mpaka kesho.
5 supu.
I think I was telling you earlier, it's a good time for soccer in Kenya. But juzi kulikuwa na game, although tulipepetwa. You guys tulichapo kama burukenge. Ilikuwa na by who? Gambia.
Tulikuwa cheza na Gambia.
Yeah, bwana, you guys. Hiyo ilikuwa uchungu.
Yes, unakumbuka tulikuwa tunapita hapo kwa hiyo mkahawa.
It was a sad day.
I was wondering, mbona wasea waongei until I saw the score.
No, ni venye
and ilikuwa dakika 27, you guys. I remember when we were getting out of the knee, it was kulikuwa na bao ya 3 ilikuwa imeingia. It was quite sad.
But at least we to revenge now.
There was someone mazee hapo storm off in protest.
It was sad, mazee. But I have good news for you. Radio Generation is bringing you the heat of the CAF Champions League as Kenya Police FC take on Mogadishu City all the way from Somalia. You guy. Bahali yake, my brother. Lakini sasa from Somalia.
Yeah,
itaweza sana. It's going to be at Nyayo Stadium on the 20th of September. And as you're saying, Bashir, it's more than football. It is discipline against determination. And only one team, Kenya Police FC, will move towards continental glory. Umesikia story, you guys?
I thought you were supposed to be impartial.
No, I'm impartial. That was just a joke. So you're in a comedy show.
Yeah.
No, but for real, come support this, this event. Kenya Police FC are taking on Mogadishu City, and we don't want you to miss a single moment. And that's why during the week, we're going to be giving out some free goodies in regard to this match.
Yeah, man, just make sure you listen into this particular show among all the other amazing shows that are going to be airing on the Radio Generation. And you might be lucky, you might be getting a ticket, you might be getting tickets. And the more people you tell to listen to this particular show, the more you have a chance of winning. So make sure mazee mwambia Mbogi wakuwa on the lookout.
You get around the Gen Zs tuna support makarao. Check it, go for it, keep up.
Corporal.
No, itaweza sana. CAF Champions League Kenya brought to you proudly as a media sponsor by Radio Generation.
Yeah, man. And Emmanuel, we are on the second hour of this particular wind down experience, which we call the podcast hour. We call the open mic hour because as you guys can listen, there's no music. There's just me and you. And you said sometimes we have an expert, sometimes we have a guest. But leo enyewe ni mimi na wewe, and we're going to be tackling this particular topic. I mean, first of all, it's need to remember, you guys, that it's going to be live on YouTube. It's going to be live on Facebook.
Yes, let's talk about that a little. These shows that we do are always on YouTube, okay? Yeah. Sometimes, you're busy. Sometimes you're, labda job imekukaba sana. So there are some parts you miss. And then you see it an hour-long conversation. Ukihata hii part, unasema, nimehata maze, wacha niachane nayo. Usiachane nayo. Let's go to our wind down our wind down playlist over there on YouTube. There are many, many other shows, but today we're talking about the wind down. And then subscribe to our Radio Gen KE on YouTube, okay? And then all the shows we've ever done since we started this show are there. Okay, so you don't have to miss. Spread the word. Tell a friend that we are on YouTube. We're going to be live from now. We're also running a live stream on X, and we're also live on Facebook. Okay, so let's spread the word about this and let's build up that asset.
Yeah, and other than that, we're going to be live on every other platform, even our website. You can go there and you'll find a live stream running. So you're actually spoiled for choice. Where more how you want to consume this particular product. And Emmanuel, without further ado, should I get into this?
You guys, let's go.
So first of all, the topic of the day is how to be happy. And we chose this topic because we understand it's sort of an oxymoron, because no one really knows how to be happy. And it will be ridiculous that me and you sitting in studio, we're just walking around and you are able to discover, the secrets to happiness and all that. And that's why we added a caveat there, which is chasing joy in a world that profits from your sadness. So let me just get into this particular introduction. So happiness is something we all want, yet it often feels just out of reach. We live in a world where industries from advertising to social media profit more when we feel sad, insecure, or incomplete. So the question becomes, how do we find joy, protect our peace, and choose happiness in a system that benefits from our unhappiness? Tonight, we are unpacking happiness, not as a fluffy idea, but as a real, practical, and even rebellious act. Emmanuel, are you happy?
You guys, about to ask you. Nilikuwa nimekugojea you guys. Cheki, huyu jamaa akimaliza tu hiyo intro yake na mtandika na are you happy? No, it's good you've like you said that we wrote that subtext over there as a caveat. To be honest, if I think about my life as a whole, at this moment when you've asked me that question, I think I am in a good place.
Yeah.
At this particular moment, on this particular day, I feel like I am in a good place. All right. It is what's the date?
9/9.
Yeah, today is the 9th of September. I am turning 44 next month. This is my last
44
lap.
Damn.
You guy, man. Nagonga miaka yangu yote hapa kwa hii radio station. So anyway, I'm turning 44. I'm privileged to have lived for 43 years on the planet Earth. Kuna watu wengi sana walikuwa wanataka kuona hizi miaka lakini hawajaona. I've come to accept that ndevu zangu mazee zinaanza kuwa kama za burale. You get one strand at a time. Najiangalianga na shangaa, huyu ni mzee mgani huyu? Cheki, wewe ni nani?
Unafanya nini kwa nyumba yangu?
Unafanya nini kwangu? Wewe, huyu mzee ni nani?
Nipate kujisalimia na heshima, shikamo.
Cheki habari ya mzee. You guys kwenye nitangia ma3 na waniambie rudi patia huyu mzee kiti.
But do you realize that the older you get, like people are respecting you? Like I saw another TikTok where a guy was passing and then like kids were playing football. And then they were like, shikilieni ball, mzee anapita. So he had to defend himself. Cheki, mimi si mzee. No, hata nipasie ball ni washok pepeta. Mimi si mzee.
Guys, kwenye mtu atanisalamia hivi.
Ameshikilia mkono hivi.
Yeah, and I'll be like, yo.
Yeah.
But despite all those odds, I think I'm in a good place.
Yeah.
I am thankful, I'm healthy. I think one of the reasons I feel happy at this time is I think nimeona pia mengi kwa hizi mamiaka yenye nimekuwa on planet Earth. Nimeona some of the other situations that other people are in. They say sometimes when you feel depressed, just pitia hapo prisons hapo nje kwa fence, wase uko ndani wakifieka. You guys, it really changed your perspective of the day, and then also PTA the whole see some of the things that are happening. We want those guys of ours to get well, but you as a healthy individual, when you're taking things for granted, when you think things are horrible, things are thick, just do one of those things. PTA will see some guys, there's air around you, you can't breathe it. You want to live I remember my sis, the last thing we discussed is she just wanted to chomoka from ako karoom alikuwa pale HDU. She told me, I just want to live here. I just want to live here and just walk around over there. These guys have just kept me over here in this room. I just want to walk outside. Can you imagine, you guys?
Yeah.
Like that's all she wanted, you guys, just to get off that gani in the whole scene, just chomoka. So I'm not saying I'm in this mood all the time.
Yeah.
You've asked me a very specific question. Right now nikikaa hapa alafu pia nililipwa juzi. I think Niuliza is only tell maybe after like 3 weeks. Yeah. But you guys, as of now, you guys fit.
Shout out to you. But the one thing I'm getting from you, and it's also the one thing that is true in my life, is the question that is happiness the absence of sadness? You know, because you've said the reason you're happy right now is because you've been on the other side, or you've been able to interact with people who are not necessarily in a good place. So you seeing yourself in a better position, like you see you're feeling some sort of gratitude, which now leads to you being happy with where you are. So which leads me to the question, like, is happiness a lack of sadness? Like, can you be PTRing and still be happy?
I think you can PTR sadness positively. Like, you can PTR a sad period, but the attitude you have is a positive attitude. Because you see, these things I've described, there are some people who have gone through all those hospitals, gone through a guy who's, seen somebody in jail, but they still have a terrible attitude. So I think, for me, just to maybe open the floor, I think happiness is a stance. Okay, like it's a stance. You know what I mean? You know, like a boxer, when there are 2 legs in front, put your hands up. Inaitwa southpaw. Hey, you guy, man, how did you know these things?
You guys, I'm a boxer.
Ulianza boxing lini?
Wewe ni chokoze tu.
You can niambie sasa hivi nijue my limits.
Ongea na me on the mic actually.
Takuwa na kuongelesha kutoka mbali, you guy. Cheki hiyo kitu ulikuwa unafanya ilikuwa ujinga sana mno. Usinikaribie wewe.
Sasa yuko nyuma ya nini Kenya Police FC.
So you guy, I feel like in life, this is the attitude I've been living my life with. You need to have that stance. Okay? Because you have that stance as a boxer, that means the other guy is going to throw a punch at you.
Yeah.
Life is going to throw a punch at you. Itakujaribu. But the attitude to which you're facing the day-to-day challenges that you're going to face is what will decide that story of you asking if you're in a state of sadness or in a state of happiness. Happiness then mean laughing all over town. Hiyo sasa ni kuchizi. Huyo ni mtu ambaye amegoroki. Ni mgoroki
kiforeign.
Yeah. Foreign inafanya kabisa kwa na nini?
Siwezi jua but nasikianga. Words on the street.
That foreign is joy fulani. So happiness then mean you're walking around giddy and laughing. That's crazy and that's irritating. But there's an attitude you have towards life.
Yeah.
You need to rolling with the punches. Because that means sometimes you'll go through a challenge. But sometimes there was once I was driving from Nakuru with this lady.
Yeah.
So we've figured up on Naivasha, there's a big mall nowadays in Naivasha. I don't remember the name of that mall. Alafu pia waja tulipa to advertise. Wanaweza tulipa, get in touch with marketing at rgk.gmail.com. In touch with Nish.
Yeah.
And then just past that mall kidogo, flat tire, you guys. Tire kafanya. So my first instinct was this chick is gonna get upset and start complaining. So she's like, by the way, flat tire, that's horrible. But what do we do? What can I do? How can I help?
Yeah.
You guys like, this is somebody I can hang out with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because yes, we're in a horrible situation. Flat tire, spare pia ilikuwa imeingia kwa mtaro. Because we also had an initial flat tire before we started the journey.
Yeah.
So spare kwa mtaro, tuko kando ya barabara. We have another flat tire, but the attitude is, this thing is bad, but tufanye aje. Like me, I think that is the attitude to life.
Yeah.
So that you don't sit down and jenga a tent, a pity party tent. There's a place where I used to work back in the day. The attitude, you guys, used to be bad, you guys. Mazo ulikuwa unakutana na mtu kwa corridor anakuambia how bad that job is. Can you imagine?
Akiingia kwa hiyo job.
Yeah, man. Cheki, hii place bana, yeah. Sijui me, I'm just gonna be here for one more day and then I'm quitting this job. You got me, I'm tired of simama hapa nje mazin this because there was some transportation. So after job tunaenda hapo nje
you line up.
Tunangoja gari tupeleke home. You guys maze complaints. Cheki, me maze this man end up standing here. Me, I'm a presenter bana. I can't be standing here in the baridi. Me have to chomoka from this place because you got me, my face is on a billboard. How am I here in the baridi? Me kesho, in fact, I don't think I'll kuja because you guys, me, I'll just call in sick.
But you guys, the billboard is always in the baridi. You guys, what do you mean? My face is on there. Your face is also tearing baridi.
I'm like, yo. So what happened was, after so much of that negativity, you guys, you even hate going to work. Because these guys, and I'm not saying Jobo doesn't have challenges. Jobo has challenges. But the stance that you have to have is, this place, it's challenges like any other place, right? So we are supposed to overcome them. So my stance every day when I wake up is, yes, today I might go through a couple of hits and misses, but my stance is tutafanyaj. That's why, by the way, to be honest, I used to like hanging out with you tukianza maneno zetu, because we've done a few things with you. Tumepiga podcast, sai tuko hapa Radio Generation. One of the things I used to like about you, sorry ya kukulamba hapa in public,
okay,
you guy,
Mesfin, kata hii.
Is the guy used to say, "Twende tufanye." How do we do it? The guy was like, "This is the man. Huyu ndio anajua venye tunafaa kuishi maisha, you guy."
Yeah.
Because that's the attitude.
Yeah.
Because there are going to be challenges. Instead of focusing on how big this challenge is. Because in yes, as you can't do the thing that you want to do. But you can ask yourself, how can we do it?
Yeah.
And then you try to do it. Sometimes you're going to fail, try again. But your attitude, can-do attitude, may think that's a stance that can make you say, I'm happy.
Yeah, I do agree with you. And that is like a great equalizer, because we tend to try to quantify happiness through different things. We'll quantify happiness through career, we'll try to quantify happiness through money, through family, relationship, all these other different things. We are trying to use it as a currency to account for happiness. But now when you get to a point where you have all these things, you have a good career, you have an amazing relationship, you have money, you have a big car, but you are not happy. And there's someone who has maybe even a quarter of whatever you have, and they are really grateful. I feel like at the end of the day, it's about the attitude you have about these things.
Yeah.
So you can have someone who has all these other things, but they're not happy because first of all, they're not content. They want more. They feel where they are is not enough. So they want a bigger car. They want a better job. So your happiness compared to someone who, first of all, is grateful for having even a car. He doesn't even care what type of car it is. He's grateful for just having a job and a salary. Like, you can never compare those two people, because the goalpost is always shifting. We always have this notion that if I get this amount of money, I'll be happier, or if I get this job, I'll be happier. But now that is not true, because once you get there, you want more. The goalpost is always moving and moving, and like there's no end to it. I remember when you're telling me about the opposite of rock bottom is a cliff top. I think Will Smith was saying that.
Yeah.
Like, there's no end to these things, and there's this trap that we get to of now comparison, which they say, I think comparison is the thief of joy or something.
Yes.
It's true. You at a point right now, I'm sure, like, I've never been in radio. I've had dreams of being in radio, and it should be very unfair for me now that I'm in radio. I'm like, now I'm not even enjoying it the way I had envisioned. Like, sometimes you are where you prayed to be in life, or you worked hard so much to be, but the moment you get there, you start chasing the next thing. You're not even taking time to enjoy this.
Yeah.
So for me, I feel like that attitude of wanting more. I'm not saying don't be ambitious, obviously. Do better, want better things, but you should just take time and enjoy where you are.
I think Rasta men have an interesting attitude to life.
Yeah.
I and I. Okay,
Rastafari.
Today we hang out with some Rasta man. Wasikilizaji.
Yeah.
I found him to be very interesting.
Very intriguing, honestly. Like his view on life, because I won't be honest, I saw him and I had my own preconceived notions because of how he looked and how
because he was dressed simply.
He was not
kiatu imechapa kiasi. Amevaa ile inaitwaje mboshori ile imeshikilia madredi. Like, looked like a very simple guy. Akianza kuongea,
that guy had traveled all over the world.
Check it, you know, I'm going to London in a few weeks.
That guy was naming town cities and
Brussels. You guy, man. And then ukiangalia hata page yake, I haven't seen any post akiwa majui.
Yeah. Huh? I don't think they derive joy out of those things. Like, they don't see those things as... And it comes back to the way I was telling you about comments and feedback. Because me and you are artists, and even like in radio, we get a lot of comments. Hey, so today, the show was amazing. And then you're like, seen you Anoma. And tomorrow you'll get a different comment, you know, hey, this show sijui iko aje. And then, like, I feel for them, it's whatever. Like, they don't really care.
He was saying until they leave, at least he was saying he leaves for today.
Yeah.
Makes sure he's healthy today. Makes sure his toys are well today.
Yeah.
I think that's a very good attitude. And as you were saying earlier, and it's very good for us to mention this again, we're not talking about being complacent.
Yeah.
We're just talking about enjoying the now and also appreciating that the now will also come with challenges. Like, there's something I normally called dip. I don't know if you go through a dip.
Yeah,
sometimes I'm in a very good mood. Then suddenly, maze, I feel like, okay, hiyo neno siwezi sema hapo kwa radio. Lakini na attracting nzi. Hey! So I feel like that, I'm like, yo, man, like, and then in fact, if someone is around me, I'll be like, oh yeah, man, I'm going through a dip. Like, my mood has dipped. I feel I'm looking at my work. I'm wondering, hey, is my work penyaing? Am I contributing in society? You know what I mean? But I've come to realize that one of the reasons I mention it, if somebody's around me, because they're like, hey man, what's up with you? You're very quiet. I'm like, no, it's just a dip.
Yeah.
Like, those dips are part of life. Okay?
The ups and downs.
Yeah, ups and downs, maze. So as you're driving from Eldamaravini unakuja Nax, maze utapitia mabonde. Utapanda ushuke, upande ushuke.
Yeah.
If we know that after a dip, you know,
Bada
dhiki faraja, brah. So I think going through the dip will be, you know, it'll be easier, so to speak.
Yeah, knowing that the good times are gonna come.
Yeah, because to be honest, those dips sometimes are really deep, especially because of the work that we do.
Yeah.
Sometimes we are here, we give ourselves over here on the radio station, on the podcast, on stage, doing comedy. Like, everyone around you is happy. They're like, hey, this guy is very nice to have around. But now you fika home, uko peke yako, you know, okay, mnakuanga peke yangu.
Na mapaka.
Na mapaka. Paka inakuangalia, ina meow, because haijakuona for 3 days. Cheki you guy.
Hata zimeongezeka sasa you guy. Kuna paka inashangaa wewe ni nani.
So, like, there's no one now to comfort me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sitting over there on my couch. It's quiet up in Kitengela. Many times you're like, eish, maze, what is life? Hii maisha ni nini? But I've come to realize it's also a dip. It's just a moment, okay? And that moment shall also pass, and you'll reach a place where you'll reach the other side of the river where you're like, now I'm not feeling as horrible as I was a couple of hours ago.
Yeah.
And I think this is a very important conversation to have, Bash, because as we say, we are not therapists, we are not professionals, you know, we're just two guys who happen to be in a studio with a mic. But there are people going through rough times out there to the point that they want to off themselves.
Yeah.
Wanataka kujimalisa. Like, because people take things differently. I think we also have to appreciate that. People react differently to different situations. Some people feel, they're like, yani nasikia yenye ni kubaya, mi wacha nijimalize. You get?
Yeah.
But hopefully using such a show and some of the things we are talking about here, somebody will realize, hey, enyewe, I'm feeling like that now, but tomorrow will be a better day.
Yeah.
So let me just hang around. Let me not entertain those thoughts. And sometimes talking about iyo kitu unapitia with a good friend, and then you turn it around, alafu mnacheka. It helps.
It does.
It really, really helps. There's a friend who called me from Central. He called me and he's like, hey, Manu, mi sitaki kuishi anymore. Nimechoka. Can you imagine aliniambia hivyo?
Hivyo ndo alianza na hiyo ni.
Okay, I'm summarizing. Hatuna time. Hakuwa nalo. So we talked about it for a while, and we talked about that situation, and weirdly enough, it reached a point where we started laughing. I don't know how we reached that point, but we started laughing about life, about how tough life is. Hata mimi nikamshow venye mimi nakapitia hapa na pale, but nikamwambia wewe bana tujikaze bana, hata mchezo tusukume kitu. Where do you want to go bana? Me don't want to come those sides. Like we don't want to travel huko hivyo to look for you, ati tunakubali.
Hata mimi nimesota.
Sikuji huko bro maze. Umeona limit yangu penye imefika. So we laughed about it, and weeks later he called me and said, "Hey Manu maze, you convo tulihave." Ilinisaidia sana. You'll never know how ilinisaidia.
Yeah.
So the reason I think this conversation sounds light, but I think there are many guys out there who are PTAing. Now, you know, maybe this conversation will help you to just live another day, and you live to fight another day, you guys. I think that's the goal for this conversation. So if there's a dip, the dip will pass. Kesho tutakuwa na check about something, you guys.
Yeah, I think this too shall pass is a good policy to live by. And I'm going to bring another aspect of this. You know, when things are good, you also need to understand that this too shall pass. You know, like the problem with the happiness and the way we approach happiness and joy and all these positive emotions is we think they're supposed to last continuously forever and ever, amen. So you're generally having an amazing life, but you get one setback, or you get one negative emotion, and now you think your entire life is falling apart.
Yeah.
So I think that notion of thinking that everything is going to be okay every second, every minute, every hour of your life is also a trap that most people fall through. That's why we find people trying to fill in those gaps of sadness and negative emotion with a lot of distraction.
Yeah. So what joy itapita?
Joy itapita, I think, yeah. As much as unasema the bad times itapita, even the good times itapita. And it's okay. It's part of life. You know, so you find someone who's been having an amazing life. Things happen in life, things beyond your control, and when bad things happen, there are people who can't handle it because wamezoea this other side sana. So I think even for someone whose life is going on well, I feel you should be able to understand that at some point things will change, but it's not permanent.
That's why I may think these toys are being raised without being taught that life is not just smooth
roses.
Yeah, but life is not raspberries. Yes, as zingine unakama across hii kitu ambayo ina attract nzi.
But we're going to use a less prestigious fruit.
Lakwas ni nini
sasa? Lakwas yuga. Basi wewe umereiziwa poa. You're the kids you're talking about.
What is that?
Lakwas is a fruit, by the way. I think, yeah. But it's not haijaekwa level ya grapes. You know, it's not a prestigious thing. I think it's just like a wild fruit.
Is it edible?
Lakwas? It's edible, yes, but it's not as not as tamu and as prestigious as a grape or something. So sometimes maze life inakupea grapes, as ingine inakupea kalakwas hapa na pale. So it's your ability to turn that lakwas into an experience.
You guys, do you think toys lately are really being padded? Like they're really being shielded from the world? Like nowadays, toys, okay, there's nothing wrong with this, but I find it interesting, to be honest. Toys, the way they're taken to nampeleka place ya kucheza, you know what I mean? Nowadays you drive to a mall and then uko ndani ya mall kuna play area. Okay. So unalipa kithao, alafu mtu anaingia uko ndani anacheza na maball nini.
Bouncing castle.
I remember when we were growing up, you guys unatoka tu nje.
Then
you generate games, you guys. Check it. Now let's play hide and seek. So you count. Count. I don't know if it's a situation where housing may change, because also apartments are not designed with play areas.
No.
You know, it's nowadays it's unsafe. Kuna barabara tu nje hapo ya apartments.
Ground floor ni parking.
I think the toys being raised up, and this is my own opinion, is your opinion, radio generation. The toys being raised are a bit soft. Tulikuwa tunawaita
pudding.
When we mimi ndio nilikuwa naitwa pudding. Check jamani pudding. That's alikuwa nani boy you guy. So there was a time tulienda Mombasa, which was I think it was nationals. So me, I went there with the swimming team. there were some Bake guys from Coastal. I think it's Serani boys, Serani or something. One of those schools. Walikuwa wanoma mabake. But those guys look like they were overage. You guys. Those guys didn't look like.
Walikuwa na ID.
Yase walikuwa na mandevu zingine.
Walikuwa na call mtoi wake half time.
Zimekoma. Cheki ujamaa, there's no way.
Ref, umse wako na ID.
There's no way ujamaa ni standard 8 man. Yeah. Those guys, they used to, walikuwa nasema, wakiona msee akicheza. Wanasema, ujamaa sop-sopu. Bidhi kuna wasee wa Coast wanasikiza. Ujamaa sop-sopu, ujamaa. Wezani, sop-sopu. So me I think watu wei siku hizi ni ma sop-sopu.
Yeah.
Like they are overshielded from the world. Mtu anaanguka kidogo. You guys was not there going to visit some mommy, you guy, eh? Was there big toy? I think that toy was like 8 or 9.
Anakanika ako ready to pay taxes.
Mtu anakaa anafaa kulima like 30 acres by now.
Anafaa jue mazeni ni pay ni nini.
Cheki huyo akiamka kesho asubuhi, make sure amelima 30 acres. So mtu mazee alianguka hapo kwa carpet. You guy madhaka akamuinua kwa sababu alikuwa ameanza kulia. Cheki
mtu analia na base you guy.
Cheki mimi huyu mtoto kwani ni sop-sopu. You guy. That toy should not be crying after falling on a carpet. Falling on a carpet, you guy. You guy me used to walk up home. Uko kwa backyard uko. We had some backyard. So unatembea hivi unakanyaga kithon. Kithon inaingia you guy kwa.
Unatokea the other side.
Okay, it's okay, but imeingia deep. So you're there, sistangu anakama anaingoa. Kwanza anasema, hey, let me see. Alafu anaivuta. Okay, hapo sasa ndio unaanza. Check it!
Let's count to 3. Check it. 1.
So, you guys, toys, they're a bit padded.
Yeah.
So if a toy is padded like that and at least not even taught this thing that you're talking about, about our life, you'll get what you want. Sometimes you won't get what you want. But even if you don't get what you want, it doesn't mean now you get depressed. It doesn't mean the world has ended. It just means wait. Just wait kidogo. Maybe you have to work. Do some work. Maybe it'll take a year. Like, it's not everything that will be instant. There's a principle of process, manze. So these stories, if they understand these things, I feel like there'll be better people even in society, kumbele. Instead of what was a sopu.
And I think those stories have grown up, and there are some of my age mates, and I can see that a lot. A lot of my friends and a lot of people around my age, they want success now. Like you see, it has taken you a lot of time to build your career, to build whatever you've been doing in your life, to build your skills. Like right now in this generation, especially Gen Zs and younger, and I'll blame social media because you're able to follow your favorite celebrity, you're following a content creator, people are buying cars left, right, and center. These Forex guys, they're driving GLEs and all manner of big morengas.
But have they been Forex to drive those cars?
So you are there. You are there. You don't have any skill, but you want to buy a GLE. Sometimes I listen to them, and they have very big dreams, and I have no problem with big dreams, but they have very big dreams. I'm sitting with a friend of mine, and I'm dream kayake anataka kununua GLE in the next 5 years. But ukimuuliza plan yake ya kununua hiyo GLE ni gani? Anasema tu itakam.
Okay. Anasema tu inakam. Lakini mpangilio ndio shida.
So already we are seeing a lot of that, and that leads to a lot of depression and unhappiness. That thing of thinking ati things come virahisi.
You guys, I was driving through on Sunday. I went to some seminar. Nimekuambia story ya seminar. Alafu sasa nikatoka hiyo seminar nimerukia kigari it's driving through a very lush area hapo in Loresho, you guys. So I was looking at those houses over there. You see right now, I love those cages. Ukinipatie hiyo nyumba sahi, one of those cages hapo in Loresho, useme, hey Manu, by the way, hii keja ni yako. To be honest, I can't live in that cage. The way my life has been set up right now. Why? I don't think I've set up structures and things that are enough for me to maintain that digs. So yes, I'll take the digs. Best I can do probably is rent it out. Because I've learned over the years is you have to learn about capacity. You guys, one of the things that I've learned that over the years we should try and learn how to build our capacity. So when you build your capacity, you're given more responsibility. No, say tumewekwa hapa usiku kutandika the wind down.
Riba.
Sasa tukitandika the wind down to a certain level, me on the mic atakuja aseme, bana, mimi naona hii capacity yenye mmejenga ni noma sana. Alright.
Shikeni radio station yenye. Red RGK2. You don't want to run your own radio station. You don't know how small
that is hilarious, you guy. At the radio station too, you guy. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, tunapewa Mombasa, you guys. Exactly. Go and run coastal.
Go and run. Like you'll be given a bigger responsibility. If at all you're not given another radio station, your audience will show that your capacity is growing.
Yeah.
Utaona saa hii uko na wase 13 wana watch. When your capacity goes up, unaona wase 1,000. You guys, so you can only maintain what your capacity builds, and what your capacity can sustain. You can only maintain what your capacity can sustain. All right. If I have a huge capacity of doing a thing, I can get on stage and chekesha 1,000 people. Okay, but first I have to start with 3.
Yeah.
So I think when we, your principle or process, tukiruka hizo ma stage, we'll never get to the place where you're saying now you can buy that dream car that you want. Yeah. Because your dream car, shida si kuinunua, shida ni maintain, you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think more than just desiring to have a private jet, maybe we desire to have the capacity to maintain the private jets.
Yeah.
I think that's a better prayer.
And also the goal of I feel even wealth building and earning money or a big job or driving a big car, at the end of the day is about who you become. Like you don't need to buy a GLE. You need to become someone who can be able to buy a GLE. You see, like as you've said, your human capacity to achieve those things also needs to be built. It's not just about money, like you need to be a certain person to be able to deserve these things.
Yes, yes.
Like you need to build yourself from this point to this point. Like you see, there's that growth that so many people want to skip. So that's why when people win the lottery, like most of them just blow through that money because you've not become, you've not build up your human capacity or yourself to become a person who can handle $1 billion. Yeah. You're still at the person who can handle $1,000, but now you have $1 billion.
Yeah.
So you don't have the wherewithal.
Itabidi weke kuku hapo Loresho.
Itabidi farasi za majirani zikuje kukula nyasi.
Hey, no, thank God for a place hapa Loresho, but na rent my rooms ndani ya Ikeja. Because they maintain you guys. Well, maze, shout out to some guys who are watching us up on the stream. Unitedly United says, I'm your big fan from Amandip show. Amandip ametutupia watu hapa hivi. Yeah. George Raphael ako ndani ya nyumba. Ameweka moto kama vate.
Shout out.
DJ Stitchy anaenjoy sana isho, ameweka ma comment ka 58. Anasema cheki big up from Kitengela. Sugar Kitengela mazina. Support isho yetu yake.
Uko Kitengela ni saa ngapi saizi?
Sai. Unajua us we are in European time.
Ndio uko in a different time zone.
You guys, sisi unajua tunaishi kwa compounds and large. Tuko na capacity noma sana kwa Kitengela you guys. Okay. Suburbs.
Yeah. Najua mna farasi for sure.
Farasi hizi survive na hiyo.
That is a staple of wealth.
You guys, DJ Stitchy anasema big up from Kitengela. Pastor Bashir spot on. I think umesema kitu imemguza.
Knowledge niko nayo.
Yeah, maze. DJ Stitchy okay, he's enjoying the show more or less. Nzige from Kahawa West Sports Salutes anasema amerukia hii stream. If you're on X and you have things to say about the conversation that we're having, you can just comment over there. Just write anything, use that hashtag the wind down. Na itatufikia hapa you guy. So Bash, I think one of the things one should do in order to maintain a state of happiness, I think it has a lot to do with the people around you.
Yeah.
Like hang around people who are not super negative. It doesn't mean you'll go through negative. You won't go through negative stuff.
Yeah.
But try and hang around people who are very positive minded. I remember there was once me on the mic alikuwa anasema venye he's thinking of twende paka 4th floor. Hiyo kitu haijai niacha you guy.
Why not?
Yeah, bana. Like why
In
not
fact, hata
think of
tuongeze
such
flow
things?
ingine,
Yeah,
tutengeneze.
tujenge, tuelekee.
Tutoe roof.
Yeah,
Tuweke sasa ni flow 2 3.
yeah, like if not, why not? And I think the bigger you think, the bigger the some guys call it the universe.
Yeah.
You know, like the bigger you expand your goal and visions. Like look at Elon Musk and some of the things that he thinks of
he's
doing.
sending
That's crazy.
You guys, and let me tell you the craziest thing about what he's doing is those rockets are coming back and they are landing themselves.
How the heck is that stuff?
Yeah, that guy is doing some magic. But speaking of science and me, I'm a man of science and I believe like in the scientific method. So actually in 1938, so Harvard researchers embarked on a decades-long study to find out what makes us happy in life.
Mummies.
So it's been 85 years, and I won't say the results are in, but we have some results, 85 years. So actually what happened is the researchers gathered health records from 724 participants from all over the world and asked detailed questions about their lives at 2-year intervals. So after 85 years, contrary to what you and I might think, it's not career achievement, it's not money, it's not exercise, and it's not a healthy diet. Mongarization is also not there. The most consistent finding from this, which they dub it the longest study about happiness, is the most consistent finding we've learned through 85 years of study is positive relationships keep us happier, healthier, and help us live longer, period.
Oh, that was the
conclusion.
Positive relationships.
Yeah.
That's interesting. A study by who?
Harvard.
Oh, so it has come from the cream de la cream of the mountain of Caucasus.
It come from the studies of the studiers of the studies.
It's come from the cracks.
So they are saying number one,
the apex.
One key for a happy life is social fitness.
Okay.
So when you're saying those things about the people you surround yourself with, having meaningful relationships, there are a lot of studies showing when someone is in a long-term marriage and suddenly the wife or the husband passes away, the person left doesn't live that long.
Yeah, maze. Especially kama ni wanaume. Wanaume maze, they really check out immediately.
You guys, they just send the wife to prepare the bed. And then they fall.
No, as in I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, as in if the wife passes on fast and leaves you.
They don't stay.
So out of here.
Yeah, at the end of the day, because we have a lot of people with a lot of money and a lot of status and power and all that. But me, I'm thinking, Emmanuel, with all that money and big cars, without a family per se, if that is like the meaningful relationship you decided to chase, or without friends who you can enjoy this wealth with, is it really giving you happiness? Like you just staying in, let's say you just buy is it a yacht or a yacht?
One of the two.
You are alone with, let's say, stuff, and you just decide to take a voyage. You don't have any friends, you don't have family. Will you be happy?
Yeah, alafu sasa pia una Wi-Fi.
Kuna Starlink.
No, I hear you. Yeah, it's depressing. And those are some of the things that worry me and my friend. I have a very close friend of mine, tunaongelanga hizi ma story, you guys. Cheki manu bana, why don't we have wives, bro? You guys, we don't have any toys, man. What's up with us? You guys, why are we on this trajectory? You guys, when we zeka, what's gonna happen to us, you guys, man? You guys, we're gonna be living solo.
Yeah, I think you'll have to be visiting each other.
Guys, so zingine you see another family wametoka, wameenda road trip, msee na bibi yake na watoto.
Yeah.
Especially at the end of the year. We are heading to the end of the year right now. Wamepanga holiday end of the year. They take their families, they go out, they have a good time. They go to Apple solo, you guys. So me, I really endorse that Harvard study, you guys. That is why you guys, me, mazei mwaka itaisha, you guys, without a wind down mommy coming to get me, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, mazei.
So they're coming to get you.
Mbaya.
You're not chasing. You're attracting.
Mazei. No, but Bashir, I think let's save that line of thought. It's brilliant. We're going to come back and talk more about it. But before we wind up this session, because we have around 3 minutes to the top of the hour, I want to tell you something that's going to make you happy.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the Shawarma Festival. So the Shawarma Festival is going to be happening at Two Rivers Mall on September 27th. Okay? And it's more than food. It's about joy, connection, and healing. They're going to be the best, the finest shawarma vendors. There's going to be live cook-offs. There are going to be games and bouncing castles. There's going to be music. Like, it's a festival, and it's all around the shawarma concept. And it's going to be some good time.
It's going to be an amazing time. And I told you the one thing I'm looking forward to is meeting some of my favorite food content creators. I won't mention them because they haven't paid for advertising. But on TikTok, I follow a lot because I'm someone who enjoys cooking. So just meeting some of those people live. And then also, since we're talking about happiness and sadness and all this, you know, we're going to have safe spaces for mental health. You know, we're going to be having something called the wall of expression. So you can just go there and write whatever frustration you're going to, if you're happy, if you're sad. You know, that's very important to us here at RGK. So remember, man, you can come as you are, you can come with friends, you can come with family. We have everything for everyone.
Shawarma Festival, where flavor meets freedom. Get your tickets at madfan.com. You get me? I'm gonna prepare enough shawarmas on that day, you guys.
Me, I'm seeing joy, connection, and healing. You guys chest that. Me, I'm gonna be preparing shawarma. You guys, cheki. Sitaki ni story ya joy, happiness na connection. Shawarma ziko wapi?
Yeah, bana, you guys. Unasema wa jamaa na kofia fulani.
Sindio. That's how you know. That's how you know the shawarma is gonna be buzzing. Ukiona amevaa hiyo kofia ya Islamu hiyo. Unajua that is the guy to go to.
Mimi yangu ya kwanza yenye nitadishi itakuwa na chili. Alafu sasa nitajaribu yenye haina chili. Alafu nitajaribu moja yenye iko na pineapples. Alafu sasa nitandike moja iko na avocado. Like hivyo. Cheki hivyo.
Mimi nataka nianze na shawarma bila hiyo ni wrap. So nyama tu. Zingine niwekee tu kwa sahani hivyo. No, sitaki hiyo. No, niko na diet. Wacha nipe tu hiyo nyama hivyo.
Aya. You guys itaweza sana mno maze. Bashir, we need to get into some voice notes when we get to the top of the hour. When we come back rather, tutaingia tusikize muziki kadhaa zenye Chess Nthusi amekelea. What's the number maze for hizo ma voice note?
So the number for our WhatsApp is 0116928683. I repeat, 0116928683.
Shout out to everyone who's been watching on YouTube. Kama uko pale YouTube, tutaingia pale X, tukimbie pale X tuendelee na hii story. Tutacheza mangoma. Shout out to Martin Mutizia. Thank you so much for coming through. Anasema tuko on. I see you, man. So we're going to get to the top of the hour, get into some music kidogo, and then we come back and continue that conversation on happiness. You know, maybe we'll also talk about your movie, In Pursuit of Happiness. Niliwatch Bashir na mwaga machozi yangu yote. Kwanza jamaa akiwa kwa choo. Maze ili ni touch. We'll be back.
It's 9 o'clock. Radio Generation.